One of the questions I get all the time is, how do I know if I'm ready to buy a house? First of all, it's a personal decision. Don't let your parents, your friends, the internet, whoever, a realtor, a lender like me, tell you that you are or you aren't ready to buy a house. That is up to you. Now, obviously, there's some parameters within that you may be ready, but you may not be able. And you can go back and watch my video on what do you need to do to get pre-approved, or what are the costs and those kind of things. But how do you make the decision? Hey, I'm ready to jump into the housing market. Again, it's a personal decision, but kind of go by these 3 C's to decide. And the first thing is owning a home is a fairly sizable commitment, right? Like, most of your mortgages are going to be 30 years. At the end of the day, you can't just get out of a lease. You're going to have to sell the home if you move, or those kind of things. So are you ready to be committed to owning a home? And that means, are you committed to fixing the home and keeping it up and improving the home's value and doing those kind of things? That's a huge deal. Or do you want to just rent and call someone, call your landlord and say, hey, the pipes are frozen or whatever, and have those fixed? That also means, in terms of commitment, are you settled in your job to where you're going to be there for a while? And are you able to stay in this house for a while? Again, because the ability to just get out of owning a home is a little bit of a challenge. Now, obviously, we talk about how easy it is to sell your home these days and how much money you can make if you sell your home. But you still have to go through that process. It's still an expensive process to do that. So if you were to buy a home today and try and sell it 6 months down the road, chances are you're going to lose a little bit of money in terms of realtor fees and mortgage fees and all those kind of things. So you're going to have to be in the home for a little bit. So commitment is a big deal. And then obviously the cost. Do you have a little bit of a nest egg for down payment and closing costs? Again, you can go with a low down payment or a no down payment type mortgage. There's still going to be closing costs. The sellers can pay your closing costs, but chances are there's going to be costs involved in you buying a home that are upfront. Also, there's going to be costs with your monthly mortgage payment, and that's going to be a commitment. And that's, it's not necessarily like a lease where you can just go and find a cheaper one. You're going to have to do there's going to be some costs involved with that. There's also going to be repair costs. The one thing I always say is, like, owning a home, it's not necessarily cheaper than renting, but it's always a better investment. You're always going to make some money back in the long run. Again, with this commitment, like, if, let's say, we do go into a real estate bubble, as that's a fear at these times, you may have to stick in the home a little bit longer to be able to get your money back or make money when you sell the home. So can you make the commitment? Are you committed to paying the costs of the upfront costs with down payment and closing costs, the repairs that need to be made? Are you committed to, again, making some improvements to the home to help improve your equity and those kind of things? And are you committed to making the mortgage payment every month? And then the last thing, is your credit in good shape? And that doesn't mean you have to have a perfect score, but is your credit at a place where you want it to be to save the most money? You can have a bad credit score and still get a mortgage. But if you can make some tiny improvements to save you money on your interest rate, to save you money on your closing costs, to maybe help put you in a conventional loan where there's no mortgage insurance, those kind of things, is your credit score in a good shape? Do you have some debt you want to pay off prior to paying for the closing costs and down payment that would help your standing in terms of pre-approval? Would it help your standing in terms of your monthly budget and all those kind of things? So can you make the commitment to owning a home for a while? Are you in a solid job? Are you in a job that has that you can count on that income? Are you settled where you're going to be at that job for a while? Are you in a place where you're going to be in the area you live in for a while? All those kind of things. And then let's just talk about the real estate life cycle, because this seems to come up quite a bit. And here's what I think is important to know. If you're watching this and you're a first-time home buyer, there's a cycle of real estate that you go through, and everybody goes through this. The first home you buy isn't always going to be the best home you buy. What's going to happen is you're going to live in that for a few years, get the hang of home ownership. You'll sell that because now you know what you want in a home, you know all those kind of things. You're going to use that equity in that home to purchase a little bit bigger home down the road. And then you're probably going to do that 2 or 3 times. The average homeowner stays in a home for 9 years. The average homeowner has their mortgage for 4 years. And so, you know, again, like you think, well, I'm going to make a 30-year commitment to this mortgage. Chances are you're not going to do that. You may pay the last one off, but you're not going to pay the first and second home you own off mortgage-wise, chances are. So, but at the end of the day, like, you have to have that starter home to get to that dream home. And so when you start looking at buying a home, can I do a little bit to this home so I can make some money when I sell it, so I can get to my dream home eventually? And then when I retire, can we sell that home, and does that provide a better retirement for me and my family? Again, how do you know if you're ready to own a home? That's up to you. But I would go by, can I make the commitment? Do I have a little bit of a nest egg for the costs? And is my credit in a spot where I can do this? I'm always here to help you answer questions if need be. I'm Tony Byrne with Heritage Home Loans. We'll see you next time.